Hello everyone, welcome to the Software Coding Tutorials channel. My name is Tommy, and today I will be discussing about how to not use loops in C++ and why you don't want to use loops in certain situation. Okay, so next slide. Here are the different ways of not using loops in C++. For example, to find a string in a vector, map, list, and array in C++, we can use the following functions: find, findIf, binary search, and lower bound. To replace a string in a container, example given, vector or map, we can use replace, replaceIf, and transform. To copy matching string to a new container, we would use copyIf. And I will demonstrate each of the functions mentioned above to help you. Okay, so open up VS Code and click on the icon to the left to create a new folder, and just name this as no loop. Okay, and then click on the left icon to create a new file called noloops.cpp. Top of the file, we want to declare a couple of includes or headers. So include vector, include algorithm, and this is where we're gonna have all these functions available for us. So find, findIf, etc. We're gonna include IOStream for standard input output. Include map for dictionaries. Include list to create standard list, and we're going to declare using namespace standard. Okay, and I'm going to just create a couple function. Okay, bool is in range. So this function will allow us to check if the data is in range. So let's return n greater than 1 and n is less than or equal to 5. And in the next function, we're gonna create a function called bool multiply. So multiply will just return the multiplication of a number. Okay, so return n times 3, right? And let's create another function called is greater than 0. And we just pass it n again, and if n is greater than 0, we're gonna return true, otherwise false. Okay, and we're gonna demonstrate how to use these functions in the replace if and other methods I'm going to be mentioning. Okay, so we're going to declare main. So just declare our main, and we're going to execute demo. So we're going to have a function called demo. Okay, and in this demo function, I'm going to demonstrate all the functions that we mentioned in the slides. So let's begin with the find function. So I'm going to declare a vector, and the vector would have a couple of letters, right? So it's going to be A, B, C, D. With this vector, I want to find a particular string. So for example, I want to find A. So I would say auto it iterator equal to standard find vec begin vec end, and I'm gonna find the letter A in this vector. So if it is not equal to vec end, then we can say cout found the letter A. Okay, so that's how you would able to find something without looping in C++. So this is using the find function. Okay, so next up, let's say that you have a dictionary, right? A map. So the map would contain the letter A, B, C, etc. So let's create a map. So let's do map string to int, and let's call this map table. And in the map table, we're gonna have a couple pairs, right? So dictionary is a pair and value, so we say A one, say B 2, and C 3, D 4, right? So that would complete our dictionary. I'm sorry, table. So if I want to find something in our table, I would do the same thing using the find command. So I would say auto it2 equal to map table dot find, let's say the letter A. Okay, and A we know it's associated with the value 1. So let's say if it2 is not equal to map table n, then let's print out what we found. So let's say cout it2 first, and the value is it2 second end line. Okay, so that's how simple it is to find data in a map or dictionary without looking. Okay, I realize I missed a left arrow, less than arrow. Okay, so that would fix the problem. Okay, let me scroll up and give you another example. So let's say I want to find something in a shopping cart, right? So shopping list. So find an item in a shopping list. So this is demonstrating a list. So let's say that I have a list string shopping list, and we're gonna call this A, B, C, and D, and I want to find something in our shopping list. I would do the same thing by auto it3 equal to shopping list. I'm sorry, I gotta do a find, so do a standard find shopping list begin shopping list end, and I'm gonna try to find A. So if it3 is not equal to shopping list n, then do a print out. So send out star it3 end line. Okay, so I can say cout found item. Okay. So that's how easy it is to find an item in a C++ list. Okay, so our next example is I want to be able to find something in an array, so I can do the same thing here. So let's say I have an array in a string array. So I would say standard string array, let's say A, B, C, and D, and I want to do auto it4 equal to standard find standard begin, and I'm gonna pass in array, ARR or array, so standard n array, and the item I want to find is, let's say, A. And if it4 is not equal to standard n of array, we can say cout found item star it4 end line. Okay, so that's how you would find an item in a array, string array to be exact. Okay, so the next example, I want to find data within a range. Okay, so you remember the first function I created earlier is called isInRange. This is where I'm going to be using it for this example. So let's say I create a vector, int vector, which has the following data. So let's say value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I want to find certain values that are in range of between greater than 1 and less than equal to 5. So to do this, we say auto it5 equal to standard find if. Okay, standard, I'm sorry, it's going to be int vect begin int vect n, and we want to find in we want to pass in the function isInRange. Okay, so if the value is in range, we want to print the actual value. So if we say if it5 is not equal to int vect n, then we can print out found item star it5 end line. Okay, so that's how you would use the findIf function to find a piece of data that is in the range that you're asking for. Okay, next we have the copy if function. So we use copy if function to copy data. Okay, so to do this, let's create a standard vector int copied list. Okay, and we would use the copy if function. So we do standard copy if int vect that we have from above, begin int vect n, and we're gonna pass in the standard back inserter. And we're gonna pass in copy list, and then back inserter, not back insert, and we're gonna copy in is in range. Okay, so what this is supposed to do is that if the values are within the range that we're expecting, we're going to copy it to this vector. So afterward we can do a print. So we can say for auto I and copy list, we can do a cout of I n line. Okay, so that's how you would use the copy if function to copy data that's in range. Okay, so the next function is binary search. So binary search can be used to determine if an element exists in a sorted range. So let's say that I have a vector of 44, 33, 22, 11, and 55. Then I'll do a sort. So using the same library to sort from beginning to end. Then I'm going to try to use the function, so a binary search, to find the data I'm looking for. So let's say bool found equal to standard binary search int vect to begin int vect 3 n, and I want to find the value, should be int vect 2, 33, and if found, then cout found item 33 n line. So that's how you would use binary search to find a particular value in a vector. Okay, so the next function is lower bound. So here's lower bound, and it can be used to find the first element in a sorted range. That is greater than or equal to a given value. Okay, so let's say I already have the vector above. I can do auto it 6 equal to standard lower bound int vect2 begin int vect2 end, and I'm gonna look for 33, and if int 6 is not equal to int vect2 end, and I'm gonna basically print out its position. So found element star int 6 and at position. So in order to do this, we need to subtract. So we know it's 6 minus the beginning of a vector. Okay, I left out a semicolon. Okay, so that should complete our example for lower bound. Okay, let's continue on and show you the function transform. Right? So transform, this function can be used to apply a function to each element and store the result in another range. Okay, so let's assume that we have a vector, int vector, and this vector is called int vect3, and we have values of 10 and 11. Okay, and I'm going to create another vector called result, and I'm going to store the size of int vect3. Okay, so I'm going to allocate exact size for these two, and I'm going to use the transform function. So int vect3 begin int vect3 end, and I'm going to pass it the result vector, and I'm going to call our routine called multiply here. So if I have the value of 10 and 11, and I'm using the multiply function to multiply by 3, so the end result for this would be 30 and 33, which is going to be in the result list. So to prove that, we can do a print out. So for auto I result cout I end line. Okay, so that's how simple it is to use the transform function. Okay, so the next example we want to use is the replace if, to replace a string basically. So to do this, let's say that we have a vector of string, and we call this fruits. Actually, instead of creating a vector, let's do a standard string of fruits array, and we have apple, orange, Jerry and pineapple. Okay, and I like to replace apple with something else like mango. So to do this, we call the standard replace function. Standard begin fruits, standard end fruits, and replace apple with mango. Okay, and if we want to know what the new result will be, we want to print it out. So for constant auto and percent fruit, we can print out the new fruit basket or the fruit array. Okay, so that is the example for replacing a string in a array. And the next and final function I'm gonna demonstrate is the replace if. And replace if is almost the same as replace, but replacing a string with a condition, with a conditional statement. Okay, so let's say standard replace if int vec3 begin int vec3 n, and you can see that int vec3 has the number 10 and 11, right? So if it's greater than 0, let's say that we can use the function called is greater than 0. Okay, if it's greater than 0, it's going to return us back as true, otherwise false. So pass it in is greater than 0, then replace it with 0. Okay, so that's how it works. So we want to print out the new list. We can do the same thing by for auto I int vec3 and then cout I end line. So that would give us the result for anything that was replaced. Okay, so let's save this, and then our next step is to compile this program for you to see. Okay, so let's open a terminal and do a dir. Okay, let me expand this for you to see it. So there's a directory called no loops. So cd to no loops dir, and to compile this program we do g++ standard equal to C++ 11 or higher. Then our file, so it's called noloops.cpp, and we ran into a problem. Okay, so we have a problem. So let's take a look at the result that we define. So let's go to up to result. Okay, so here's the problem. We should say result begin. Okay, I left it out. This requires a transform requires an iterator. So let's save it and let's do a clear. Sorry, COS, and then recompile our code. and this time it compiles. So let's execute it. Do a dir. You can see a.exe. So let's do a clear again, and you can see that the results are exactly what we want to see. Okay, so this is all the time I have for this tutorial. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. See you next time.